there's no happier fans in world football right now than Arsenal fans. Who did you learn more about tonight, Grella? Arsenal winning in such dominant fashion, or Bayern Munich struggling like that in London?
Personally, I learned more about Arsenal because in the big moments, in the big games against the biggest of teams, because we know that they can do this. Every time I pick up my head, they were like almost scoring a set piece or causing danger. They suffocated Bayern Munich. Everyone knows Arsenal right now is favorite in the Champions League, favorite in the Premier League. But to do against Bayern Munich is incredible. I don't think I learned much about Bayern Munich because in the biggest of moments of late on their company, they fumbled it. And tonight they looked average. Without Luis Diaz, they looked average tonight. So I learned more about Arsenal, that they're serious. They're not playing games, and on the counter and set pieces, they are the best in the world at the moment.
Yeah, for me, me and Grella spoke about this in the green room. For me, I think the biggest compliment you could give this Arsenal team is they make everybody else look bang average. And that's how good they are. They're so dominant. They're running over teams. Again, this goal here is obviously a mistake by Neuer, but also Bayern are pressing for the game. So you kind of write this one off, but Arsenal just look fantastic. There is nothing you can say negative about the team. They make changes. The team stays the same. The people they bring on stays the same. They get injuries, stays the same. And that's all down to Mikel Arteta. And I think for 4 or 5 years, people have been questioning whether he can get you over the line. There was questions early on against Liverpool. Is he the guy to win this year? And he's just shown process, consistency, and application gets you where you need to get to.
I think when I look at this game, it wasn't a game where you could say that there was an element of it was going to have such a big effect in the standings for this year's competition. It was more of a game of focus of who are the real deal. Arsenal and Bayern Munich right now, two teams doing well domestically and doing well in the Champions League. Who is the best team right now in world football? Who's in that conversation? It was just to see how far Arsenal have come. And for me, when I look at this, Troy famously called Arsenal soft at one point in his career. And now when I look at Arsenal now, I don't see a soft Arsenal.
Yeah,
I see a very strong Arsenal side now that resembles the Arsenal of old, the great Arsenal sides of the Vieiras and all them, look, where there is fight, there's physicality, there's the technical ability, and there is a togetherness. And that's one thing I'd always give credit to Mikel Arteta from taking over. I've always said, I've always been watching the togetherness, the body language of players. We've been in enough dressing rooms in our career to know that there's something special about the togetherness that Mikel Arteta has built at Arsenal, with the players that he's brought there. And I would say I've learned more about Arsenal today.
When did you call them soft, Troy? Recently? Or when you were playing?
7, 8 years after we beat them.
But he was right.
But at the time, it was right. For that moment. Again, it was more end of the Arsene Wenger era where they were just like fourth. And
they were soft.
There was an underbelly.
You even said they're soft last season. Like,
no, absolutely not.
What's the biggest change then in the last 2 seasons? Because even though last season
exactly?
was a success.
No, I said they lack cojones.
Oh.
And now they have cojones.
What do you want me to...
I'm not going to lie to you. He's right.
Elephant in the room, though, by the way.
They haven't won anything.
Today, you said it. They beat Bayern Munich. Fantastic performance by every metric. We can keep on going on Arsenal until we're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, they've won nothing.
Yeah,
and we don't know. I mean, the season's a long way away. And PSG barely limped into the knockout stage of this competition and won it. So,
but I think I hear your point and I take your point. But I think for years now, Arsenal have been labelled and laughed at, have been the butt of everybody's jokes, that when they are in this vein of form, even the most staunch Spurs fan has to say, this is an incredible side. And it is, and you have to give them the credit now. Now, if it plays out in 6 months' time, they don't win anything, this whole conversation will change. But for right now, they haven't put a foot wrong.
You've got to give them the flowers while it's due. And right now it's due because they've improved. They've got every aspect of it. They can win through set pieces. They can win through playing football. They're very... where's the weakness? It's hard to say that there is a weakness right now in this Arsenal side.
Crossing the line.
Whether it's the start, OK, but we still got time. I'll say that is the thing you've got to be cautious about. Last year, we saw a Liverpool side that looked invincible at the start of this campaign in this league phase. PSG, like you said, limped into it. But when that momentum came in, there's still a long way to go, they went on to win it. And I would say, again, looking at today's game, for me, I felt that Luis Diaz is a player that was missing for Bayern Munich who can have an impact. And the reason why I say he can have an impact, because there's not that many type of players like Luis Diaz in his style 100%. Of play. How he carries the ball. He's not an easy player to replace when it comes for the effectiveness of what he brings to your team. We know how hard he works doubling up, but the ability to pick up the ball from his 6-yard box or his box and carry it and dribble past players. And there's a difference between dribbling technique and running with the ball at pace with the ball at your feet than just knocking it and run. where intelligent defenders can cut you off or cut off the space and make it difficult for you. But when you dribble, I think if he'd have played in the game today, I think it would have been very impactful from a Bayern Munich's perspective, and he was hugely missed.
I would say, yeah, I agree with you to that point, but I think on the opposite side, I still don't think on that performance that they win. I think Arsenal suffocated them.
So. Yeah.
They beat them up. Every time we was watching it, it was like, set piece, I think they're going to score here. There was chances missed. Arsenal were fantastic.
Yeah, set pieces was...
They were fantastic. And again, like you say, Trossard came out, has been great for him over the last few weeks. Madueke, the guy behind us, comes on now, and he comes on, he scores, and it's like Martinelli comes in, scores, and we heard the interview with Declan Rice with the other guys on their show, and he said it's the fittest he's felt. Every time he steps on a training pitch, he just wants to play. That comes from years of work and knowing where you're at. And at this moment, the whole team is in a wonderful moment, a purple patch, and it's all going well.
Would you say it's years of knowing where it's at, or you got to give credit to Mikel Arteta? You've got to give credit to Mikel, because you've been in that distance. All of that there, for me, this is my opinion on it, comes from a manager. Yeah, you could be a leader as a player.
But he's been on the verge of being sacked many times, it feels like, in the press. So is it credit to the club for believing in him and to giving him such longevity?
That plays a part. But I'll just say this quickly for me. That plays a part, Poppy. But I always say good leadership starts from the top. When you're a manager like that and you're filtering down, you know who your leaders are, you know who your captain are, but everyone falls in line. That comes from him. That comes from Mikel Arteta, and I think that when you say about everything now you're saying so far, that doesn't happen like that. Those players don't feel in that great environment unless it comes from the manager. Yeah, no,
I don't disagree with that. I think when you're talking about, he's made really harsh calls early on. Getting rid of Aubameyang, who we've seen yesterday scoring goals. Getting rid of Lacazette, Ozil, massive players on huge money and all of these things.
Xhaka as well.
Xhaka. But he's also been he's enabled young players to come through, and this is what a lot of people don't talk about. Yes, they've spent money, but he's given the likes of Lewis Skelly a platform to perform. Saka the likes to perform. And they've gone on and grown, but I think it's through years of having disappointments, working hard, little knockback, no problem, we go again. And the manager will tell you he can set all the rules out, but it's on the players. We know this. As a manager, you're only as good as your players.
But you also have to create that environment, and that's what he does. And I think the thing as well you got to look at is even the guys that play. If you look at the attitude of the guys who are sitting on the bench, they're itching to play, but they want to win together as a team. They're happy for their teammates, and if they get called upon, they're ready to come on. It's not that we've been in that environment before where when you're playing, you've got players on the bench and they're sitting there and they're being negative to one another. Oh, what's he, look at him.
That's from winning, though, right?
It is a bit from winning, but you could be winning, you could still have players who are unhappy. So I think the environment of how it is and how everyone is together is something unique, and he's very selective in the players that he signs.
How many trophies did Arsenal win this season?
I've seen this story before, it's hard.
Listen, I was the first guy to say, I'm sure you guys agreed, but at the beginning of the season, this is a team that's going to be difficult to beat, alongside with PSG's, Real Madrid's, everything. I'm a big fan of what they're doing. Don't take nothing away. They've won nothing. We're having a conversation about that. I understand right now, at this point, we have to give them the flowers. They've won nothing.
He's right.
They've won nothing. And last season, when they beat
Inter last year,
when they beat Real Madrid last season, they celebrate as if they won something. They celebrate as if they won. Like, they felt good about that. Like, you could see it in their faces, even if they were like, oh, yeah, we got bigger. And in the first game against PSG at home, in their own home stadium, in the first 45 minutes, they went into a crazy shell. They sat in, negative, boring, praying for a set piece. They let PSG play all over them, played much better in the second leg. This team is better than last season, for sure. But that was not a matter of talent. That was a matter of mentality and guys, a group of guys that have just never crossed the line before of winning these things. It's the same, a lot of the same guys that have never crossed the line. Right. I want to see, come the springtime, when the big matches come, when it may be Bayern Munich, but in a knockout situation, if they can have these same type of performances. I'm not so convinced yet.
Who do you all think that, and which trophies do you think they'll win, if any, this season? If you had to predict
If I had to predict right now, I still think they're the favourites for this. In the Premier League, you'll see it is very difficult for anyone to really string any real form together. So you would, as we sit here right now, it'd be very difficult to make a case that anybody else is in a better suited position than Arsenal.
For the Champions League and the Premier League, you're saying?
I would say, mate, this Champions League is going to throw spanners in the works as it goes on.
No one's disputing, but you're talking about things that are not happening. So for right now, who is?
Premier League. I would say Premier League. But I can't pick anyone in the Champions League right now.
But if you had to pick a team right now, who is?
if you had
better suited to beat them?
It's hard. I think it's very fine margins because now in the group stages, it's very generous. So right now, you're just trying to get your standings. You know what it's like, a mindset. When it gets to the knockout stage, it's a different level, it's a different expectation, it's a different mentality. It's hard to pick right now to say. They look great right now, but when it comes to knockout stage, it's a different switch that comes onto players because you lose, you go home. I'll say they're favourites for me for the Premier League. They're definitely favourites for that.
More so.
Champions League, no.
So, Grell, you're going for the Premier League too, if you think...
I think they're better suited to knockout stage football because of the set pieces and the defensive stability of the team. I've said that even last season. So I think the Champions League, but they're also more favored, I think, in the Premier League. I agree with Nigel, because other teams are struggling so bad. You look at Manchester City losing home games, conceding goals. Liverpool, 6 wins, 6 losses this early in the season. You saw what happened tonight to them. So I just don't even see where the competition is really going to... Maybe Chelsea, but it's a young squad. It's also a young squad that haven't done it.
But you're all in agreement that they will win a trophy this season, right?
Yeah, I think at the start of the season,
the odds say that they're going to win a trophy.
No, I think at the start of the season, everyone would have said he has to win something, whether that be the FA Cup, whether he has to win something to get it over the line and to keep this momentum going of what they're doing.
Let's just talk about Bayern Munich quickly, because I suppose the one bright spot was Karl, wasn't he? He's fantastic, such a young player. Here's a look at his goal. He's the second youngest player to score in consecutive Champions League appearances, 17 years old and 270 days. He has been sensational, right?
Everything about this goal is beautiful. From the long 60-yard pass to Elise leaving it across, making sure that Karl can come on and just put it in with his left foot. Wonderful goal.
The teenage goal scorers from Matchday 5, obviously Estevao was the talk of the day yesterday for the Blues, beating Barcelona at Stamford Bridge. Of all those, Nige, who's impressed you most, would you say?
Estevao. Estevao is definitely sensational. He's lost his teammate, his future teammate, Quando, who's at Sporting, who's going to Chelsea, but Estevao for me has been the star. He plays like an experienced pro already at such a young age.